Oh dear. Hey guys. Oh, I better share this, right? Oh my goodness. Don't mind me, just trying to set up in my car for our global live mass meditation. So was going to do it outside, was going to do it in the beautiful gum trees, but it's raining and it's windy, and I'm doing it here. And Lucas was called to do a big bonfire back at home and do like a full ritual by himself for this time slot, so we can all be tuning into the fire, which is pretty cool as well. Speaking of fire, there has been so many dragons around. I'm curious if anyone else has had their dragon around, because it has been so strong for me. Hey Danny, say hi when you join live, guys. I would love to hear how you guys are feeling. We've got a couple of minutes before we officially start this global live meditation, so I wanted to jump on and get you guys prepared, allow us all to arrive. Yes, your dragon's here. Yep. Is he going to share the fire? Well, we don't have reception on the actual property, so I'm not sure if he's going to film it or not. I didn't ask that. So I was like, okay, I'm going. I got to go. Yeah. And I was going to say something else. Oh, and the thing I wanted to say, right, is he was saying before, he's like, oh, so many people are triggered at the moment, you know, like just in general, and, you know, like kind of like fighting and rah. And I was like, well, this is the anger part of the grief cycle. So you know how I said to you guys, the world, like last week and the week before, I'm like, the world's in shock right now. Like the world is in shock. Yeah, the world is in shock. Part of the grief cycle. The grief cycle is shock, anger, grief, getting on with life, in short. Yeah, 4 stages roughly. There's bits in between, right? And right now you can feel and sense everybody's like amping up and fighting, and this is this way and this is that way, and like, oh my goodness, right? Oh, let me read this. This is really important. So, oh my goodness, I haven't even shared this. Okay, let me concentrate. So we can start, and I'm going to lead us into our meditation, right? From reading, because I pulled cards from this morning, the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I haven't shared it on my story yet, but it's so pertinent for what's going on right now. So let me share this, and then I'm going to read it, and then it's going to lead us in to the meditation. Now there's a lot of ancestral beings around, like I feel like grandparents and people who've passed over, and like it's just so strong lately. I don't know if you guys have felt it, like with all the world shifts going on, like I feel like there's so many ancestral beings, like family, like ancestral relations, like being like around, you know what I mean? I really sense them so strongly. But then also the star beings, like the Galactic Federation, the whole Pleiades, like Sirius, like the whole, like there's so many star beings around at the moment. Like it's like, and I'm like, okay, I feel like this is going to be an activation of that, right? I love your undertitle. Do they have that for translating languages to I'm not sure what you mean? What is my undertitle? I'm not sure what you mean by that. That's so weird. What can you see that I can't see? Can you screenshot it for me? I don't know what you're talking about, as much as I'd love to understand. I've spoken to my dad who passed over years ago, and so much ET love. Yeah, there's so many beings around at the moment, right? It's so freaking awesome. All right, I'm sharing this. I'm conscious of the time. There's so much I want to say, of course. All right, so I've shared that. Got Dreams of Gaia Tarot. That this card that I pulled this morning is so pertinent, because I was talking before about, you know, the light and the dark, and the, like, literally, like, this was the bottom card of the deck that I pulled this morning from the Dreams of Gaia, and I wanted to share it. I just haven't shared it yet, but I was like, oh, I am sharing this, right? The words that I speak come up in writing. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I didn't put that as a setting. That's just automatic, which is kind of cool. Obviously, this is important for people to understand, so maybe I better make sure I speak clearly. I wonder if that's going to work for the activation. Let's see what channels through, hey? All right, so I'm going to start. Oh, and by the way, this was the card that I pulled, right? And then that card that I shared was the bottom card of the deck, the black and the white one, the light and the dark. This one here is individuation, all right? So this is leading us into, can you share about COVID and when all these things will end? Yeah, after the meditation, I'll speak about stuff, yeah? So if you hang on, I will, yeah? Okay, so individuation, self-actualization. So start to allow yourself to breathe, guys, because I'm going to read this and drop us straight into the meditation. The activation. So self-actualization, liberation, altered perception, new paradigms, great mystery, paradox, potential. Yeah? A time of independence. Say goodbye to the public persona. No longer bound by another's opinion, walk your own path. Humans are paradoxical by nature. See and know your potential. The self is whole. Time to grow up and leave home. It's kind of interesting. Stop following the crowd, right? All right. I've been called to wear so much metal jewelry for this meditation. Yeah, that's interesting. Love that. All right, let me find this card. All right, so this is the bottom card of the deck, and I'm going to lead us into the meditation from this, yeah? Activation. So this black and white, how potent, right? Duality, polarity, separation, unity, dichotomy, integration, choice, and big picture. Everything has an opposite. Duality divides and separates. Polarity unites and integrates. When you create, you also destroy. Embrace an open mind. Nothing is ever black and white. A choice between dichotomy and integration. Sometimes both parties can be right. The two of air represents both duality and polarity, and the theory that everything in creation has an opposite. Duality is the theory that two opposing forces come together to create a state of chaos. In this theory, positive and negative poles repel each other, and so there is a constant and ongoing battle between the two where one seeks to overcome or rid the other. Polarity, however, is the idea that two opposing forces exist in all things within the universe, not as separate competing forces, but as complementary opposing aspects of a singular whole. In this theory, one is just as necessary as the other. One does not exist without the other. And in some situations, depending on one's perspective, one could even be said that an identical mirror image of each other, that they are an identical mirror image of another. Yeah? So when we lead in with this, I really want you to take that concept that the light and the dark always exist. They're never not there. In this 3D reality that we live, even though we're moving into 5D heart consciousness, this space is a choice, right? A choice between dichotomy and integration. We're choosing whether we're living in duality or polarity. Duality separates and divides. Polarity, however, is the idea that two opposing forces exist in all things. When we walk with that awareness, it takes the reaction out of everything we're seeing in the reality. Yeah? So as you take a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out, I'm going to record this actual meditation as well. So allowing yourself to breathe in, being conscious of your breath, conscious of your inhale, and conscious of your exhale. as you allow every single inhale through your nostrils and every exhale back through your nostrils. Allowing each breath to take you deeper as you inhale through your nostrils and exhale. Feeling the cool air as you inhale through your nostrils and the slightly warmer air as you exhale back through your nostrils. Being super present, super conscious of that such subtle feeling of this cool air as you inhale through your nostrils and the slightly warmer air as you exhale back. Keeping your awareness as you inhale through your nostrils and exhaling. You want to keep that deep, slow, long breath. Every inhale deeper. Every exhale. You can imagine and sense like a bit of constriction around your throat as you breathe in. It sounds like the ocean. Breathing in. Breathing out. As you breathe in, you feel your chest gently rise as you inhale. The sound of the ocean as you exhale. And as you allow yourself to feel your heart, you allow yourself to drop. Drop deep into the center of the earth. Allow your heart to drop into the center of the earth. So we all meet in the center of the earth, the core of the earth. Allow us all to meet. There's a lot of us live online. We're all allowing ourselves to meet in the center of earth. Still breathing in, breathing out. Notice where you are with us in the center of the earth. Notice what it is for you. Is it the core of the earth, how you think it would have been, or is it something completely different? Notice and recognize the core of the earth and all of us sitting here in a big circle or a big group, or how we even sitting, or perhaps we're standing holding hands. Allow whatever is coming to you to be the truth for you. Breathing deeply into your heart, and you notice that all of our hearts are breathing deep at the same time as we inhale and exhale. As you notice, as every single time you inhale, your heart expands. This heart energy expanding, breathing in and exhaling in your own time. Allowing the rhythm of your heart to expand with every breath. And this heart energy gets stronger and stronger with every single inhale. And every single exhale. You suddenly become conscious of your feet. And you notice what it is your feet are standing on. Do you have certain boots on? Are you bare feet? Are you wearing something else? What sort of earth are you standing on as we are all gathered here in the center of this earth? You notice if we are in a cave or a different dimension or just the center of the earth, or where is that for you? However, we are all here together, all allowing our hearts to expand in this space together. And you notice that it expands to like a big cave or cocoon around us. It's not that it keeps going out through the earth, not just yet. It's just allowing our heart energy to be so strong together. And allowing this heart frequency to build through the center of the earth. Just noticing what that feels like. And if your mind starts wandering, just bring it back to your breath. Bring it back to your heart. Bring it back to the center of this moment. You notice everyone here with us in this group that have been called here today. You look at each other. maybe we hug each other. We know that we are all here together. As you do, as we do, you start to notice that through this little cocoon space starts to open. It's almost like a sponge, if you may, and all this beaming light shoots out from this circle, from this cocoon that we are in. You notice what color the light beam is out through to the crust of the earth and out to everybody else meditating and connecting on our global mass meditation today. Allow yourself to breathe and connect with all these people also joining in for this meditation. Connect consciously with your energetic frequency, your heart, your feet. I'm seeing super grounded and present, anchoring this frequency onto the core, into the core of our earth. Via you, because you are the core of our earth. You wouldn't be here if you weren't an ancient blooded healer called to the center of our core, of our earth, holding this earth shamanism frequency that is your strong, grounded, different species self being. That's why you're here. As you recognize the connection and the frequency that everybody is emitting from our planet right now, you notice and feel the different frequencies of each person, of us as a group in the core of our earth, as every person on the planet, all emitting a similar frequency. But you also recognize in all the different meditators around the earth, you recognize how they're all slightly different, and you recognize the ones that are like magnets and are soul friendships. Soul, ancient blooded healer connections. Connect with them now. Allow this feeling of connection to be your home center. This is your heart, this is your frequency, this is your being. I want you to now notice on the outside of our earth is the grids. Is it the flower of life? Is it a different sacred geometric grid around our earth? I want you to allow your heart frequency to expand into that grid now. And I want you to notice that on the outside of that grid, there is a lot of beings present. Do a scan of the earth, or perhaps you're just in one place. Notice where you're drawn to around the earth. Is it the entire frequency of the entire earth? The entirety of all the beings that are around our earth right now? Or is it that you are connecting with one being or a particular species of being? Just recognize what you're drawn to. This is a deep recollection of your soul origin home. Allow yourself to receive any wisdom, guidance, activations, DNA activations, upgrades from these beings now. Notice how you feel in your body as these activations take place from these divine beings of 100% light that have come to support us in our ascension process as a collective human consciousness now. You might feel sensations in your body, you might not. It doesn't matter. Just allow yourself to receive. Perhaps you're getting lots of messages and lots of tingling and sensations through your body, and perhaps there is nothing. Be okay. But know and recognize this entire activation process is allowing and helping, supporting the shifts in your physical and energetic being to allow yourself to continue to stay safe, protected, extremely guided, and connected to your intuition at all times. I'm getting the message now for us all to, as we are standing on the outside of this earth, and we're all looking in on earth, wherever you are around the globe. Like I said, you might be in all places, you might be in a particular place with these beings, these star beings, these other beings, all these divine angelic beings, all these beings helping us right now. As we all turn and look on our earth, notice where you're looking. Again, it might be you're looking at the whole thing. You might be looking at a particular country or a particular ocean. Trust where you're called. This beautiful earth. I want you to notice now. I feel nervous doing this part, guys, but I'm trusting what's coming through. I want you to notice now that out of your fingers is like an electric purple light. Perhaps it's not electric purple. Perhaps it is platinum, perhaps it's gold, perhaps it's something else. I want you to trust what color is beaming out of your fingers. Is it like a direct beam? Is it like a lightning bolt? Is it like electricity? What is coming out of your hands? Your powerful hands that you probably already do Reiki or some other hands-on healing can activate your hands now. Perhaps the star beings or your beings actually already activated your hands, and then we can direct it to our earth. Now this piece that we're going to do, I was shown last night to take you through in this meditation, and again, I'm a little bit nervous. I hold no responsibility for this, okay? I'm just channeling a message. With our purple flame light, or whatever light is coming out of your hands, we are going to change the frequency, the vibration. We're going to change all of the frequency of the radiation and the 5G to a, I don't know what the words are, more peaceful vibration. Perhaps in the shift it destroys it, because in all creation is destruction. When you create, you also destroy. So I want you to, maybe it's in your own hometown, maybe it's all around the world in general, I want us to now all beam our purple light frequency to all the radio waves and all that jazz onto the earth now. Inside all the transmission boxes, change the frequency so it resonates with the heart, not destroys it. So it activates the heart. So it activates the love. Notice where you're being guided to do this too, by the way, guys. Trust what you're being guided to do. We're all doing distance live global healing on our earth right now. Just saying. So we all have the capacity to do this if you just trust your intuition. Take it through all the electricity on the earth, all the grids, all the power plants, all those things. Perhaps even all the fuel stations. Change the frequency, change the frequency, change the frequency. Now, we are also going to, with our witchy powers, or our beautiful light language powers, we are going to direct this beautiful, transforming purple flame, electricity, light, energy to all those people that are copying a lot of hate on the planet. That could be politicians, it could be presidents, it could be all the governments. I don't care. But we are going to direct all of this beautiful energy beaming through our fingers. And you can also see all of these star being guides, all of these people that are beings that are helping us right now, also directing their powerful light energy deep into the hearts of those people now. Cracking open their heart and allowing this light to activate through their system. Some people might be like, you need permission for that. I'm like, they won't receive it if they're not open to it. But with enough light filtrating onto the planet, it's more about the global shift. We can activate anybody's body. Again, some people might be like, you need permission for that. I'm like, we wouldn't be guided to be doing this. Some people say these people are clones. Some people say these people are drones. Some people say these people are draconians and bad people. I say they just need a lot of love. I say they've never had their feelings heard. I say they're deeply unconscious. And through the light of our consciousness, we shift people. We're going to move our awareness to an ocean. Deep, deep ocean. Trust which ocean you are drawn to. And allow yourself to dive in deep. Are you by yourself or are we together? Are you swimming normally like a human, or do you transform into something else? Are you able to breathe underwater? And notice and recognize beautiful, beautiful ocean animals around you. What ocean animal comes right up to you? And it is like the most amazing experience you've ever had, receiving the vibration and activations from this animal now. Notice how it shifts your system, your energetic frequency, your divine self, your chakras, your being. Dolphins, whales. Allow them to activate you, and you notice even the mer people have arrived. And you notice that as we dive down deeper and deeper into the dark, dark deep, you notice that there is a particular cave. Is it light or dark? Is it a crystal? And follow these beings into this crystal cave. What crystal is it for you? And as you walk in the cave, you notice that it is like you can breathe with dry air again. You look around and notice, are you by yourself or are we all together? You look around and notice if one of the beings is wanting to show you something in particular. Perhaps you get a feeling about it, or you might see an image, or you might remember a memory, or something from a movie might pop into your mind. This is your intuition talking. Do not doubt it in this space. And allow yourself to receive any activations, any DNA upgrades, any information, wisdom from this beautiful divine space now. You notice and recognize that within this crystal cave, a big circle, like a big portal, opens up in the middle. You allow yourself to have the courage to jump through. And you notice that we all land back into the center of our earth. We all look at each other, embrace each other, feel that deep heart connection and the breath. The heart expanding with every inhale, every exhale. your heart energy. You can imagine like a big bubble around you, just getting stronger and stronger just by breathing deep into your heart. This heart frequency has a certain magnetic property, a certain frequency to it. This is your invisibility cloak. This is your protection. This is your being self. The more you can breathe deeper and exhale, every time you consciously breathe deep, you consciously strengthen that energy field at the same time. With a strong heart energy, people in fear don't see you. I remember some prophecy about how one day we will just become invisible. And I think what that means is that when we are in this heart frequency, we're not in the fear. We strengthen this heart muscle. We have that awareness and perception of polarity instead of duality. Duality is the theory that two opposing forces come together to create a state of chaos. Polarity, however, is the idea that two opposing forces exist in all things within the universe, not as separate competing forces, but as a complementary, opposing aspect of a singular whole. Light and dark are on the same spectrum, and there's every single vibration and color in between. When we can know that it all exists as part of the whole, we stay here. We hold it all in our heart. We see what's going on. We see people in their grief. We see people in their anger. We see people in their frustration. We see people in their frustration and confusion. We see people trying to figure out the world and try to hold on to the old. And we hold it all in our beautiful heart frequency and our expanded awareness of the entire singular whole. The Celestine prophecy shows that when we're here and all those people running around to kill all those people, we can be super here and all this happening right here and they don't even see us. Why? Because we're here. This is our invisibility cloak. This is our protection. How do we do that? We breathe in. And we imagine our energy heart center, our heart, expanding and getting stronger and stronger. It is the most powerful force in the world. And it is the same frequency of hertz as our earth. When we breathe deep and we drop into the center of the earth, we can anchor in that vibration and make it stronger. As you all come back into deep presence of where you are, sitting in your room, your bed, your couch, your house, your car, wherever you are, being so conscious and present with the presence of that grounded, ancient blooded healer, strong empath with a very, very powerful heart energy frequency that you are. It can be tricky to stay in this energy, vibration, awareness when we go out into the world, when we watch the news, when we see all the shit going on. And that's why limited time at that stuff. And how do we get a strong heart and stay in that vibration most of the time? How do we go to the gym and get strong muscles? How do we become a bodybuilder? Practice, dedication, commitment, discipline. Over and over and over and over. Not just once, Not going to become a bodybuilder overnight. Not going to have a strong heart frequency by one meditation practice. Every single day for ages. How does an Olympian train for the Olympics? Every day. How many hours a day? Pretty much like all day, don't they? Right? When I get good at something, practice. When I get strong at something, practice. Not just once a week, every day. And what a perfect time we have to be able to do this. Yeah? So I have recorded that audio as well, and I will re-record that in a proper audio, free for you guys, so that you can download it, can listen to it over and over again to keep that awareness and that connection. Now, I have no flipping idea what this whole let's electrocute all this stuff, right? No, we're changing the frequency. That wasn't the thing. I got shown that last night. By the way, guys, this card has just been standing here the whole time through that meditation. Check it out. It's because I pulled those cards at the start, and then this was the card sitting underneath the black and white card, the polarity card. It was sitting there. So I'm going to read this out as well, right? Yeah, thank you. That was magical. It feels like this, right? It feels so like this image. The whole time it was staring at me. I'm like, yep, that's pretty much what it feels like. So let me have a read. Let me know how you guys feel after that. I know there's a lot of you joining live, which is freaking amazing. If you think this can help, guys, please share it. We want this energy and vibration going around. I'm so curious how you guys are all feeling. Let me know what beings there were, what star beings were there, what color was coming out of your fingers. Was it electricity, purple, lightning, or was it just a beam of light with a different color? Was there angels that you spoke to? What activations did you have in your body? Comment below, let me know. Let's debrief about this, right? Because sometimes that can be quite deep for people. That sort of activation, very, very normal. That's not very similar. We do very similar things in the full moon ceremony at times when we go around and we specifically do things on the earth. That's very common in our full moon ceremony. Erin says there cannot be one without the other. There is no rainbows without the rain. Yeah, that was so powerful. Yes, you're so welcome. Felt amazing energy. Yes, so amazing. Okay, so the purple light flame, let me speak about that. So rainbow, I feel like I beamed up. Yes, definitely. So that purple light, I was reminded about that last night, like I said, right? Was this the power of love for humanity coming out? Yes. There was 2 layers of star beings and angels all circling. I felt the layers of them too. I felt quite a few actually, so that's awesome confirmation. Soft green healing light. Yes, felt the differences. We were electrocuting the world. I know. Too profound to debrief just yet. Yeah, post in my reality awareness support group, guys, if you need some time to just integrate that for sure. Yes, purple and then green coming out of my hands. Sounds like Archangel Metatron. Purple beam of light fixing the grids. Yes, awesome. Love that. So that purple electricity was shown to me a while ago. I don't think I've shared it publicly, but it came to me again last night about doing that, and I was like, really? So anyway, I just trusted as always. Blue light coming out of your fingers. Yes, awesome. And that was shown to me when I was living on the Sunshine Coast years ago. The energy under my house is this kind of black stuff, and I for years I'd been working on the land and doing all this stuff, and then they showed me in the shower that the petrol station on the corner, just around the corner from my place, was leaking in the earth. And I was like, what? The fuel, the petrol station, the gas station, the big tanks underneath, hairline fracture. And I was like, I was so upset. You guys in Trust Intuition know, right? I was so upset. And I was like, how are we supposed to fix that? And then my mind went to all the servos in the world. I'm like, how many others would have hairline fractured cracks, right? Anyway, I was so upset, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? There's nothing I can do about that, right? And then when I was going to sleep that night, they showed me this purple electricity coming out of my hand, right? And I actually went in the earth like a mermaid. It was like water, but I was swimming in the dirt. And then they showed me that, they showed me how to weld that hairline fracture crack up with the purple electricity. And I was like, okay, just trusting. I'm like, okay, whatever, sort of thing. And then 3 days later, no joke, the whole servo was taped off and everything, and they were doing all this construction work on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, right? And that came to me last night. So that's why that came through in the meditation today, because they wanted me to show you guys to do that and change the grids and change what's in the transmission boxes and do you know what I mean? Like we have the power to do that, guys. You know, they've put us in isolation, they've put us in lockdown, but we have the power to direct our energy into anything physical. You guys know the power of our thoughts and our feelings, how it affects water, all the Dr. Emoto science stuff. If you guys haven't looked at that, type in Dr. Emoto water, and you'll see the crystals and you'll see how we can affect the water and plants. You guys have seen studies where the people who meditate and sing to their plants are happier and healthier than the ones who don't, right? We have the power to affect physical things as well, even if you think that you can't, because everything is energy. There's no separation. So please trust that, okay? All right, let me read these comments. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, blue light coming out of your fingers. Awesome. Felt so much heat from my hands. Yes, gold color. Yes, I had gold too. I was looking and healing Gaia from somewhere in the cosmos. Yeah, it's so awesome, right? When we can sit out there and just like, oh, the whole thing, it's the best feeling, right? Liquid water, emotional cleansing. Yeah, beautiful. So Lena says I had archangels. Yes, and star beings. I have no idea which ones. Yeah, so good. That's why I just call them star beings, because there is so many. It's like a whole, what's the word? Study in itself, yeah? I'm a bit out of that too. Although I see different ones, but I don't know the names of them. So yeah, purple electricity coming out. Yeah, crystal cave with amethyst and being opened a tiny box to show me, and the brightest white light hit me in my eyes and third eye. Oh, it's so awesome. Activation. Love that. Amethyst cave. I had like, it was like a pink, it was like ruby, but not. I don't know what it was. It's pink, but not. Sarah says fluid silver beams on my fingers. Yum. Natalie says feel great, like to visualize white light giant angels around the earth. Yes, so profound. Yeah. Jeanette says I saw green in the crystal cave underwater. Yum. Yes, I love that. I loved like diving down with the mermaids. Well, I had mermaids there. Tammy had emerald crystal as well, so green for Jeanette and emerald crystal for Tammy. You're buzzing, hands were on fire, heart open fully. Oh. Big heart healing, right? Yeah. Tracy felt great vibrations coming out of my body. Love it. Haley says I had blue coming from my hands as well. Yes, awesome. Danny said I held my tower crystals in each hand and my hands are buzzing. Yeah, how amazing. How powerful are our hands, right, guys? We kind of forget about that stuff, but it is so, you know, what is the first thing when we get a headache? Oh, my head. Oh, I've hurt my shoulder. What do? We put a hand on it. Like, there's a reason for that, right? You're powerful. Just have to use it. So Agni says amethyst caves and dolphin. Yes, there's the dolphins there too. I had a big whale come up as well. Like, they're so massive, right? It wasn't like just here. Well, it was there. Yes. Garrett says that was awesome. Wasn't here for the whole thing, caught part of it. Yes. Love the blue cave and love jumping through the portal. Felt love and peace. Yes. Yum, yum, yum. So good. Lena says thanks. Mermaid, seal, dolphin, light purple tingles through my body. Yes. Love that. Love hearing all this, guys. This is awesome. Jem says I had an amethyst cave too. My guide showed me to start where I am and use what I have and do the work. Yes. Life purpose rules. Start where I am, use what I have. Do what I can with what I have. Not like, oh, I can't because I need this. No. What have I got? What can I do with what I've got? Start here now. I would not be where I am today if I wasn't following that rule. Yeah, there's always a way with what you've got. You just have to find it. Yes, amethyst as well for Rachel and dolphins and whales. Yes. So Leanne says, thank you. I felt like deep integration. I felt purple silver energy coming from my fingers to gentle guide frequency change. Yes. Stood on the outside of the world, seeing all star beings sending healing energy with us. I saw dolphins and then I was called to all of the water, letting it know I love you. God bless you. Yes. Water. Over and over again. Yes. So powerful, right? Then was called to send healing energy to pretty much every person I've ever come into contact with throughout my life. Ripple effect. I just felt that as I spoke it. It's amazing. Terry says like an electric white purple light, green cave and a manta ray. Oh, the manta rays, guys. The manta rays in the liquid crystals are connected to conscious feeling, right? It's leopard delight is the crystal. That is my life purpose crystal, by the way. And you guys, what do I teach you guys? Like, can we feel our feelings, guys? Like conscious feeling. Like, that's all I talk about, right? Manta ray. Conscious feeling. It's Ledepolite. Oh my God, that's not how I say it. I just said it before and I'm going to try again. Sorry, I got all excited because I'm like, that's a lepidolite. Oh my God, I can't say it. That's my crystal, the manta rays. All right. There was an angel with their hands on my shoulders and what were you saying? Hang on. So Kelly says, my dragon came and we covered the earth. Your dragon. Yes, my dragon was there too. I didn't want to put stuff in people's heads, but I'm like, who else is there? Like, and the reason that I say that, guys, like some people don't like, you know, if you come and do my meditations the first time, I have some people say, oh, like you lost me when you asked me a question. And I'm like, yeah, I do that on purpose because I'm all about getting and teaching you to trust your intuition. So I ask questions. So I'm not infiltrating and telling you how it is. You know, I'm like, we're in the center of the earth. What's around us? What is it like? And then I was kind of saying it's a cocoon, blah, blah, blah. But in the start, I'm always like, see what you see, feel what you feel. Where are we? What's underneath your feet? What shoes are you wearing? Like for a reason, because it strengthens your intuition rather than someone from outside of you telling you how it is. You're tuning in a more powerful vibration to feel and see what that is. Like, this is how I train you to trust your intuition. So sometimes it's weird for people because they're used to people telling them, even in meditations and, you know, spiritual practices, how it is for them. Whereas I'm the opposite. I'm like, no, how is it for you? Let me guide you to strengthen your intuition so you can trust yourself, so you can live your life purpose and birth the solution for the planet that's not yet here for, that is the reason why you're on this planet. Takes a lot of trust to do that, right? And this is how I teach you to trust yourself. So Kelly, my dragon came and we covered the earth, spreading the love and healing. My wings took me up with the other angels. Yum. I rejoined my dragon. Yes, I felt the children activating. Oh, how special. I love that. So Dana Murder says, the light at my body as my body is the earth and the earth is my body. Oh my God. Yes, I was like getting that sense, right? When we're in the center of the earth, I was like, we are the shamans. Like, this is why we hold. Like, most of you guys who follow me, we hold a different vibration. We hold a different aspect of, like, we are different to people. Like, you know, to most people, you probably feel different. Like, you feel like you don't fit in, or you feel different, or people say you're too much or too strong, or you're too this or whatever, because you've just got a freaking strong energy. Like, it is a natural part of you, and you're an ancient blooded healer. You're a strong empath, shaman, soul connected to the center of our earth. Like, that's your power. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I love that you picked that up, Dana Murder. That was freaking awesome. So Marge says, purple and silver light coming out of my hands. Amethyst cave. Yes. And a dugong. Oh, yum. In the ocean off WA. Love that. Love that. Jeanette says, wow, I'm loving this. All the energy we just blasted the earth between us all. I know, how special. And everyone on the earth doing it, not just I think it was like 70 or 80 at one point on the live stream here, which is freaking awesome. So many people just tuning into that. It's just like, oh, it's like we started off in our thing and then we just expanded, and then all the beings, and I'm like, ding. I meant to take us out through the universe, but we didn't kind of get there, did we? Maybe it was about earth today. So Rita says, floating free with many in water with golden light. Love that. Love it. Yes, golden light. Golden light, so regenerative and empowering and powerful. Yeah, regenerating. Yeah. Tammy says, my crown and third eye physically feel open. This was my activation from the angel. Oh, I love that. Turtle was my animal under the sea, and I was the mermaid. Yes. Oh, love it. When I go underwater like that, I have gills. I have gills that come out on the side of my neck, and also, you know, on my ribs there as well. Sometimes I get them just through here. It's kind of interesting, I've noticed. So when you say turtle is my animal, so turtle I think is turquoise, which is earth. It's earth mother, earth connection in the liquid crystals. I don't think I've got my book with me. No, I don't have the liquid crystals, but it's very connected to the earth. Yeah, the mother, was it mother goddess? No, turtle is mother goddess, I'm pretty sure. Moonstone, I think. From memory. Don't have my chart with me. I'm like, why didn't I put my liquid crystal chart in? Like, you know, the one I usually got on my wall. Anyway, I'm on the road. Get used to it, Hannah. All right, Sarah says Atlantic Ocean. Amethyst Cave 2, yes. Waterfall entrance, gold cup thing from a merman. I love that. Yum. Oh, that's like your beingness, yeah? Like, cup is such a symbol for feminism, like for being a female, for your womb, for deep, like, you know, like the cup, we hold the cup, we are the cup. It's like nurturing, filling our cup up, yeah? I love that. Love that. Kirsty says, so grateful to be a part of this with everyone. Yeah, thank you for being here, guys. So Agnes says, still feeling tingling in my third eye. Yes, this is the activations, yeah? This is the activation coming through. So any of the tingling, remember I said the other day on live stream, like whenever we're in a yoga class or like, yeah, the tingling and all of that is like, is the energy starting to move through our body. Yeah, when we're holding a yoga pose, we haven't done it for a while, we're like, and we're like, yeah, it's burning. It's the energy moving through, right? And then after a while, we're like, we just hold it. We don't even feel that, right? So it's the energy moving. If you've got tingling through your body like that. That's why sometimes if you get pain, you know, like a headache or something, there's just like stagnation of energy. And so when you can ask it what it is, you know, like listen to the emotional reason, listen to what the message is, you know, are you carrying this person, or you're doing too much, or you need a rest, or like whatever. And if you listen to that, it allows the energy to start moving again. Yeah. So Paula said, I had rainbow colors coming out of my hands and feet tingling. Yes, I love it. It's like really making sure you guys are grounding that through your feet, right? I'm like, what about your feet and your feet? I don't know. I really felt it anyway. So of course I'll share that. So mermaid, dolphins and whales. Yes. Clear quartz cave. Yum. The Indian Ocean, whale and mermaids. I love this, guys. So powerful. So interesting. We're even drawn to the ocean. And I think that that's, you know, if we look at the power of the ocean and the power of water and the vibration that we all just kind of activated within ourselves on the earth, and then we took that into the water, just like Leanne did, was like fully like, I love you, water, I love you, like, you know, like this water is, I don't know what the percentage, I think the percentage of water on the planet is the same as the human body ratio to land mass. I'm pretty sure 70 to 90% water. I think our earth is the same. I'm pretty sure I heard that ages ago. So Josephine says, I saw a lot of white beings. I held my hands down at first, then upwards, then sideways. I had a white beam coming out of my palms, then purple with a tingle of silver out of my fingers. I love that. As this electricity hit the air, I could hear this electrocuting sound like it was so unsettled. As I held the light in the area, the sound settled in a buzz sound, kind of like what I hear during the internal compass meditation. I love that. Who else is highly clairaudient and hears the vibration and hum of things like that? Who else hears stuff? Who's highly clairaudient here? Love that. Love that so much, Josephine. Thank you for sharing. Paula said, I had a diamond cave. Yes, for me as well, like the whales. So whales activate your light body. So in the liquid crystals, diamond is associated with the humpback whale. And they activate, its purpose is activating your light body. So when the whale came up, I was just like, like activating the light body. So I love that you had diamond as well. And I thought I was going to say something else about that, but I forgot. Anyway. Okay, so Francis says, heat from the hands, lovely whales, brought tears of joy. Oh, you had whales too. Rose quartz and ears felt open. Yes, love that your ears felt open. Just talking about clairaudience. How funny. That's what I was going to say. So dolphins, on the other hand, are deeply connected to emerald in the liquid crystals, which is deep heart healing. Yeah, so if you had dolphins, deep heart healing. If you had whales, activating light body in your system. Yeah. You went to Cairo, right? How interesting. That beautiful Egyptian energy. It's interesting. I was just going to say with what's happening in the world there, but it was kind of like before all the lockdown, yeah? So Kylie said, I had purple and green beaming out to the world from my heart. Oh, I saw a cluster of star beings. Yeah, so interesting. We all like saw them, yeah? And the layers and stuff, because yeah, it was so strong. Then dived deep down into the river here to heal the town. Golden hands shooting out the healing powers to change the vibration. Whale healing, yes, more whales in the ocean, and exchanged energy with a sea leader. Oh, I love this. Blue sapphire, strong at the end. Oh, I love that. Sapphire is spiritual truth in the liquid crystals, yeah. The ocean for me, I remember going surfing once, and the water and the energy was sapphire. Like, you know how sometimes it's like a teal turquoise color? Like this was like blue sapphire, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't want to get out. It was like drinking the energy of it. It was so amazing. I love blue sapphire. Love that, Kylie. Thank you so much for sharing. So Christina says, I had a big purple bright light, white light goes straight down through my crown. Oh, yum, yum. Mermaids, I was one, says Rachel. Yes, we turn into mermaids, right? Yes, I had a seal come to me, and then a dolphin came to me too, says Lena. I love that. Can't think what seal's totem is off the top of my head, and I don't have my animal book with me at the moment. So many beings around, I couldn't keep up. I got to fly with the whales and dolphins. Yes, so good. Olivia says, I was playing with the sharks. I had sharks too. I love the sharks. Sharks are black tourmaline in the liquid crystals. They're deeply connected to protection and being able to like have that grounded protection. Yeah. The best form of protection is being grounded in our body. And yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, sharks too. So good. Love the sharks. Josephine says, the earth crust cracked open. I saw people in suits not knowing what's happening, like what the fuck is going on. So interesting. We were asked to hold our hands out, to hold them, to hold space for them. Yes. Those that do some internal work just peacefully joined us in the white glow in the core of the earth. Oh, see, that's the thing I was getting. I was just like, this is like offering the peace. Like, you know, I was like, let's crack open their heart, you know, and then I was like, could feel people like, you need permission to do that. I'm like, well, you do and you don't, right? You can send healing energy to whoever you want. It's up to them whether they're going to energetically receive it or not. So, do you know what I mean? Some people say it wastes time, and I'm like, yeah, well, I usually don't recommend just sending healing energy to people, but that electricity through our fingers and using that vibration, that all came through spirit. So trust. Dana Murder says, inside the cave was a clear crystal pyramid, but the crystal was fluid, not solid, and I sat inside it and stayed with me when we came back to the center of the earth. So good. It's so good, guys. And that's what I guess I was sharing about the core of the earth, and we jumped in the portal to the core of the earth, and then all of a sudden we're back in our house or car. And with that, it's like there's no separation. We don't need to travel anywhere. We don't need to leave our body. We can stay present, grounded, black tourmaline, fully present in our body, protected, and do all this travel. But we're still conscious, present in our body, feet right here, but we're doing all this work, right? We don't need to leave and astral travel and go and, no. Present, grounded here, right? The crystal was fluid, not solid, and I sat inside it, and it stayed with me when we came back to the center of the earth, because we're always connected to it. We're always connected. Our whales right here, our dolphins right here. We don't need to travel. Even though I say these words and we kind of go on this journey, at the same time we're here. Yeah, and this is the power of being multi-dimensional and being super present and grounded in your body and turning up for your purpose work and doing what your soul is calling you to do, while still receiving all these messages, healing, activations from multi-dimensional universes all the time. Remember when I said, I was like, so how do we strengthen this heart muscle? What we do is we actually breathe deep, practice this. Yeah, we practice that all the time. We can be doing anything all the time, practicing and strengthening that. Yeah. Rachel says, I've been receiving activations and messages from that Netflix show. I had to keep watching the deep explorers of the ocean. Yeah, so amazing the stuff we get from those, right? If we're paying attention, we're open to it. I love it. Christina said, I also had a dolphin, shark, sea lion, and saw mermaids. I love that we all saw the same things. It's so cool. It's like confirmation, right? Excuse me. Shifting all the energy. Amanda says, I felt my hands activate. Golden purple. I was out of space looking down, healing the whole world. Yes, so much more. That was just a tiny bit. Yes, huge heart healing. So interesting, right? I thought we were going to do like all these like diamond light activations, but it was very focused on the heart today. It's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Oh, I'll read this in a second too, yeah? Because this is an earth card. Heart. She's holding a big crystal ball. So Aurora said, I love it. I meditated with Leopard Delight. Leopard Delight. That's the one I could say at this time. Leopard Delight. Thank you. That's the manta ray. Conscious feeling in our heart. We feel it to heal it. With Leopard Delight and Malachite. Love that. Malachite is so grounding. It's very base chakra. Even though it's green and it's connected to the heart, it's so connected to our will, our willpower, our will. Handing our will over to spirit. Very base chakra. Yeah. Trusting and following through on our will and what we're being guided to do. Jeanette says, I sent love to 2 of my exes alongside the world leaders. Yes, how interesting. We're being guided to, like, I don't know, I guess the 5G towers and all of that jazz. And it's just interesting to me because, you know, through this time, and there's so much more I want to say, you know, but There's also a lot of hate in the world at the moment. People are hating on the government. People are hating what's happening. People are hating the change. People are hating the leaders. They're hating the not knowing. They're hating the military. They're hating the police. They're hating this. It's a fucking harsh energy, guys. Fucking heartbreaking. I've been fucking bawling my eyes out the past 3 days. I wanted to say that before I started when I jumped on live, but I was like, no, I need to focus because I was about to start. I've been bawling my eyes out crying, and I was driving here wondering what that was about. I was like, why have I been crying so much, right? And when Lucas was talking just before I left, and he said like there's a lot of people being triggered, and you know, and they're just rah, and I was like, well, that's because we've come out of shock, anger, grief, and then getting on with life, the grief cycle. Remember, I've been saying for the past 2 weeks, I'm like, the world's still in shock. Everyone's like, what's going on? And now the anger and the riots and the hating and no, you're right, and no, they're doing this, and stop doing that, and stop doing that. And I know I just kind of did it as well. I'm like, so much hate in the world, guys. Like, stop doing that, right? We're all in the anger cycle now. Everyone's going, hang on a sec, this isn't right, and you're wrong, and what are you doing? And stop doing that. Rah, rah. It's the anger part of the grief cycle. Soon, the grief will hit. Interesting when that does. So I love that you sent love to your exes and the world leaders. Francis says, yes, spreading healing love to people in my life. Yes, love it. Leanne says, oh yes, I saw dragons dropping dragons dropping love bombs all over the world. How awesome are the dragons when they do that? We've done that so many times through the well, not so many times, I just remember those times in the full moon ceremony when the dragons would fly with our dragons around the earth and do that stuff. Was so good. So Danny says, a light being held both my hands with crystals. Oh, how awesome are the fucking upgrades from the star beings, by the way. Oh my god, I've had some of the most powerful activations from the star beings. Amanda says, yes, my hubby isn't feeling the best, so I sent the gold purple beam out into the other room to him. Oh, love that. Love it. Dana Martin says, Dana Murta. Dana must be here. Dolphin in the water lighting up my chakras and the light star beings and many others I didn't recognize around the earth. Yeah, there was a lot that I didn't recognize either, but there was just like, felt like I could feel layers of them. It was so interesting. Maybe it was just the different frequencies of them all or something. Rachel says, sent love to all the parents who are wounded and helping their hearts to open and awareness to activate. Oh, I love that. I love that. Leanne says, I also felt like we made contact with those that live in the depths of the earth. I felt that too. I was like, we're in a different realm in here. Different, it wasn't like a different world. It was a different realm, even though it's kind of the same thing. But it was a different energy. Yeah, I felt that too. I really did. Linda says, also drawn to my clear quartz crystal and Lemuria crystal. Yum. I tried to upload a pic but couldn't. Yeah, you can post in my reality awareness support group if you like, actually. I actually found my clear quartz here somewhere too. It must have fallen down again. I must be sitting on it. I pulled it out of my bag. I'm like, oh, I did bring a crystal with me from home. So Rachel says South America and Peru were really strong. Yeah, the rainforest. I did go up through the universe. Yum. I kind of thought it was letting them know it's time to come back out. Not sure about that. Yeah, it's interesting you say that because it's almost like, you know, I wanted to say before about the Mayan civilization and so the Mayan civilization, and you know how they disappeared, but they didn't, you know, like they'd gone without a trace, but they just moved to another dimension. That's what's talking about, the invisibility cloak and being here in our heart and our fear. Like they don't see us, you know what I mean? Like people don't. You can see walking through a supermarket. They're just in fear and they just don't even see you. I know they like move out the way, but there's other people that you're just in their little world. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when we're in that polarity, we can see the whole picture. Whereas when somebody's in duality, they're only here or here. It's only black and white, or it's not black and white. So the book said. So interesting this card came out this morning, right? So interesting. What are you choosing? Let me know, guys. Are you choosing duality or polarity? Do you see the whole picture or do you only see one side? So interesting, right? So Richard said, most of today I had intense crown chakra pain, then tingling, then slowly went away. Yeah, opening crown to higher activations, yeah. Crown chakra is very associated with the star beings too. Pacific Ocean kept coming through strong too. Yes, yum. Turquoise is bear. Turquoise is bear. Oh, turquoise is bear. I always get that mixed up, but that's like reality awareness' totem, right? Is the bear. So turtle is the moonstone, which is the moon goddess. Yeah, the mother goddess. It is moonstone is turtle. Yeah, I was like, no, it doesn't. Turquoise. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Olivia. Haley says, my cave was dendrobrite. I know, I've heard that before, that crystal. That crystal, I'm pretty sure from memory, it's on my phone so I can't check, is like the most powerful crystal. A lot of people think shungite is one of the most powerful crystals to stop radiation from 5G and stuff. I think dendrobrite is actually one of the top ones. It's one of the liquid crystals. I'm going to have to double check that, but dendrobrite, that sounds really familiar and I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe I'm getting it confused with another one. I'm going to have to check my notes. It's in my phone, I can't check. My cave was dendrobrite and we were all encompassed in it individually as well. I love that. So good. That's a really powerful crystal. I can't remember. I have a feeling I'm getting that wrong though, so don't quote me on that. Turtles and dolphins for me. My sister got dolphin. Yum. Pacific Ocean. Love that. So Christina says also was in a huge amethyst cave. A big group of you guys were in there. Yes. I love it. I loved connecting with you guys. I felt like I was. So I love that. Turtle symbolism, not the crystal. So turtle symbolism is still very connected to the earth, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, same. Rhiannon says, is too fast for too long. What do you mean by that, Rhiannon? Oh, I see. The turtle symbolism is too fast for too long. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like slowing down. A lot of us are slowing down inside, coming out of the fast-paced world. Can't wait to do it again when you release the recording. Yes, I will redo that and put that up as a free MP3 for sure. Now the crown pressure is coming back. Yeah, so just ask it. Ask your crown, what is it that you're wanting me to know? And also tune in if there is a particular star being that is wanting to give you these activations to open your crown to higher, like energy like that. And then when you do, remember to ground it all the way into your base chakra, like take it through your body and anchor it in. Don't just leave it stuck in your head, if that makes sense, is what I always recommend doing. So we're fully embodying it, not just in our head. Also ask your crown chakra as its own individual person being what it's actually wanting to tell you and also to do with that activation too, is what it feels like as an activation. So D says aquamarine cave, yes. Rhiannon says a period of increased period of sensitivity to the earth's vibration. That's so interesting because I feel like that's like I know I'm pretty in tune and connected to the earth, and like especially the animals and the wild animals and stuff, like just they all speak to me, right? But I feel like with everyone slowing down, and I keep saying this to Lucas because like he keeps saying about social distancing and he's like, it's weird, and I'm like, yeah, it's so interesting. Like people are like so super conscious of their aura of a 1.5 meter distance, right? Energetically, our aura is usually around, well, not for everybody because some people's auras are really weak and they're really close to their body, but in general, they're quite like, that's our spatial awareness, right? When we have that awareness of ourself and our body and our energy, it makes us become more conscious of our energy and somebody else's energy and like, all that sort of thing, right? So Sirius star is mostly water. How interesting, Danny. Been doing some research, right? Ringing in the ears. Yes, that's the clairaudience opening and receiving information and downloads. So Danamona says, I could feel the earth pulsating and breathing as our hearts were beating and breathing whilst in the center of her. Yes, that is what I was like really getting us to connect to, like as we breathe. We connect to the earth. Like, do you know what I mean? In the center. It's so interesting we're drawn into the center of the earth. I thought we were going to go out into the galaxies and stuff. But I've always said too, actually, it's so interesting. I'm like, we can do that and we can travel to other galaxies and all of that. However, we also anchored on this planet for a reason. Yeah. And being anchored on this planet for a reason is because we're here to do the work here. We've been to other galaxies. We're from other galaxies. But we're here to like really anchor this in. And for me personally, I feel like I've been here for many, many years, like millions of years, right? In that time of allowing that magic to be present and then disappearing and now coming back. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I've been here for a long time. And I'm like, let's just stay anchored on the earth because we're obviously here to do that work, right? So Aurora says, that's awesome. My cave was emerald and gold. I love it. So Josephine says, I had a seahorse come to me underwater. I love that too. Emerald is my birthstone and I've been connecting to the dolphins so long. There we go. Deep heart activation. Shana says, thank you. White beluga whale for me. So beautiful. I love that. Yum. Saw a shark as well. I felt our light joined the rest of the people around the world and the star beings, angels together, but felt we were being protected down in the center from dark until we were guided to come out by our guides and angels. Yeah, that's so interesting. It did feel a little bit like scary in a way down there. Like I did get that sense and I was just like, we're all here together. Like, and maybe that's like symbolism for feeling alone or isolated or out of control on the earth. Like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting, right? So Rita says, body feels shaking and peace for all. Yes, yum. Center of the earth, I meant, yes, yeah, where we began. Yeah, it was interesting energy down there, wasn't it? Different beings, different feeling. That's where we began. So interesting. My son put magnets on the fridge before the meditation and spelled 5D. Ding, 5-dimensional, 5th-dimensional heart. Emerald in the liquid crystal says the energy is so super ancient. Yes, spiritual healing. But the crystal will soon leave the earth dimension and moldavite is the new energy to replace. Moldavite was created by a meteor integrating with our earth. Yes, I remember that about emerald. So interesting, right? And moldavite. Moldavite's been coming to me so strongly this past week. Past 2 weeks, actually. Danny says, I had a small ray swimming next to me this morning. Oh, this week? Yeah, that's so awesome. Seahorse and turtle as well. Love it. Protection to the children, yes. Garrett says, yes, I've been angry. That makes sense now. Yes, definitely. There's a lot of people feeling angry. I'm just going to shut this because I can feel the rain coming in. All right. Was a mermaid and was with a dolphin. Yum. So Dee says, I meditated last week. I flew with my dragon around the world. Yes, violet flaming everything. See? I love you guys already do this shit. It's so good, right? I'm like, just tune into it. Just trust intuition about what they want to show you and where they want to take you, especially if they just randomly turn up like your guide or something, right? Like trust. And say, like trust of 100% light. Usually when they turn up like that, you can feel whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? Like, but always you can ask if it's of 100% light if you're ever unsure. So Dana Murder says, anger is related to the liver energy, which is spring equinox. So interesting because we're in autumn equinox here. Grief is held in the lungs. Yes. Yep. Grief is held in the and the large intestines and the skin. Yeah. So interesting, right? All connected all through here. The respiratory stuff, the grief. And that's why I keep saying to you guys, you want to be healthy, cry, get that, cortisol out of your system. Yes, thank you, Olivia. It is moonstone. I thought so. Turtle is moonstone. So Rachel says, Mum has called me her turtle. Oh, that's cute. Heart was really hurting before and during the meditation. Yes. Just pulled my own liquid crystal card, Garnet. So on point. Yes, that's the Kookaburra and manifestation of purpose. I love that. I love you guys pulling your own cards and trusting intuition. It's so good. Liquid crystal cards have been calling me to pull cards since last night. Love it. Moldavite, have a piece of it when I meditate with my whole body. Rocks. Yes, it's so powerful. I have a lovely rock of Moldavite. Beautiful stone, can feel the energy. Yeah, it's so powerful. It's very grounding for light workers, for people who feel like they're not from this planet simply because of it come from, that outer planet. So let me have a look at what this card is about. Yeah, she was staring at us the whole time I was doing that meditation. So interesting. I thought we were gonna go up to the stars and get all the activations, but it was all about the earth and all about the heart, which is kind of no surprise in a way. All right, my Roman numerals are not good. Trying to find the card. Okay, it's the 8 of Earth. What a surprise. It's the abundance number. So growth, manifestation, accomplishment, success, abundance, wealth, and appreciation. Success, wealth, and love. Do what you love what you do. Make plans for the future, a time of abundance ahead. Confidence in our future outcome. Do not rest on your laurels. Money does not buy happiness, but it does help you to get through in this life. That doesn't say that in the book. I just added that in. Lose the lack mentality. The Eight of Earth symbolizes success, wealth, and love. The manifestations of a positive attitude, doing what you love and loving what you do. This is a very optimistic card, one that suggests a time of abundance, fruitfulness, and a good harvest ahead. Peaceful, happy home, career, confidence, the respect of your peers. What more could you ask for? All the seeds born of past planting are growing well, and you can be confident that the outcome you need will manifest. This is pretty cool, right? This can be a good time to think about taking that next big leap rather than resting on your laurels. You have it within you to go further and reach greater heights if you so desire, especially if you remain committed to doing everything to the best of your ability. The Eight of Earth signifies a time to look, acknowledge, and celebrate your success, and perhaps to start making new plans for the future. It's so interesting, right? Because when we were looking at this, which are you choosing? Polarity or duality? So duality is the separation, polarity is the whole. Yeah. And then this one, which is all about the independence and taking, like, liberating yourself, basically. And then this is all about success. Now, when we look at what we just tuned into in that meditation, right? It was like, well, we have a choice to create whatever we're focusing on. If we're focusing on the fear of the 5G, of the radiation, which it's really fucking real for some people. Like, I go into town, right? I wrote it in my blog this morning. I go into town and I really notice the feeling of the energy, the people. I don't know if it's people. Like, you turn on a Wi-Fi, and how many Wi-Fis do you pick up? Like, fucking like 10 or 15. Sometimes it'll be like 20, and I'm just like, oh my God, right? And I can be in town. I'm like, yes, let's go into town. And then it like hits me. It's like, whoop, I'm like, get me the fuck out of here, right? And being out here off grid is so noticeable to not having like reception and being completely like out of it. Going into, like, it's so noticeable to me. So I'm not disregarding that feeling. However, right? And this is the thing, if you can get out, you can get out. Well, if you choose to, if you want to and you can, right? I know a lot of us are in lockdown and you can't right now, but the point I'm saying is, do you sit there and fear it and start like, yeah, in it? Or do you get out your purple electricity fingers and go, actually, I'm just going to spend a moment, just only takes a thought. You're driving along to like towers and like putting your frequency, there's a tower just there. So I'm sitting here in reception. Like, the electricity out of your fingers through the tower. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you just need to visualize it through your mind's eye, going down and through, like, down to the pole, like, wherever it's going, and then, like, frequencying it out. Like, what would that purple vibration do? What did that do for all of us? I'm so curious to see how the energies of this week go for our Earth, seeing as though we all did this mass meditation. And I know some other global leaders did mass meditations, like, during the week as well, earlier this week. It was a lot. And then we've got full moon on Wednesday. Yeah, so we're doing our full moon ceremony live online on Wednesday or Tuesday afternoon, depending on where you are around the world. And then it's Easter, time of rebirth. Pretty friggin' significant energies, right? Christ consciousness. And in my breakdown and crying on Friday night, because I said I've been bawling my eyes out the past 3 days, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I crying so much? And what I meant to say before is, like, when I was driving here, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm picking up the grief before everyone hits it. Like, you know, when we're in the shock, and then the anger, and then the grief, and I'm wondering if I'm starting to pick up all the grief of people of everyone's going to move into the grief of, like, humanity sort of thing. Like, so we go through this cycle about what's happening in the world, and I'm like, oh, that feels resonance, right? Amanda says she can't wait to see what happens either. Yes, I love that card too. It's beautiful, right? The success. And this is where, excuse me, when I was saying around, you know, like, there's so many bad things and the vaccines and all that shit. And I'm like, but we still have an opportunity to change it right now. Like, you know, and I mean, if a bill gets passed, well, like with every single government bill that gets passed, there's always an exemption. There's always a way around it. You just have to find it. You just have to know that there is. Just like a lot of people, like, you know, when I first started homeschooling and stuff, like a lot of people don't know that you actually have a choice to send your child to school. Like, people just think that you just have to do that. That's what it is. Like, you know, like people heard of homeschooling, but they kind of outside of people just think, you know, and it's even when I first really even began, I was like, oh, I didn't know we had a choice not to send our child to school. Well, we do, but we don't really consider the outside reality to the system that we've been brought up in for our whole life, right? But there is always a system outside of a system. Always. There is always a way and an exemption of some sort around anything. Like a driver's license, for example, there's exemptions to disability licenses and all sorts of things. Oh my goodness, I love the rain, but not in my car. It's like coming in. Right? We are the way, the truth, and the light. That's what Jesus says. Song in my head. Yeah, so interesting. I was about to talk about Christ consciousness and Jesus, speaking of Easter coming up. And yeah, so in my crying on Friday night, I was like, what can I do? Like, because I just feel like I haven't been getting any messages. Like, I've just been in my own little bubble, and I've just been waiting for my intuition to tell me the next thing to do. And like, you know, usually I get a lot of information, but it's just been like quiet. And I'm like, okay, I'm not meant to do anything right now, but I'm like bawling my eyes out on Friday going, show me what to do. Like, please, like, come and help. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, I felt like supposed to do something for humanity or something. I don't know. And then, anyway, I got the message to do a global live healing on the 24th. I don't even know what day that is. The 24th of April. Yeah. So let me have a look. I haven't just figured out a time yet. That's the message that came through. Oh, so it's a Friday. Yeah. So I'm going to do a global live healing on Friday, 24th of April. Could be the 23rd, depending on where you are in the world. So we'll see what's happening, obviously, with the internet and stuff. I feel like it'll all be fine. And yeah, that's what I'm being guided to do so far. Okay. Right. But the point is that just like we can be in fear, and of course, you know, like I said, like when I go into town, I feel the Wi-Fi's, I feel the technology more than I ever did. And I actually felt a lot of sadness. Like, I think part of that crying on Friday was just like crying about the sadness of like, how did I fucking cope being in suburbia like that? Like, the last 2 years have been really tricky. The last year, the last 6 months, I'm like, get me out of here. Like, I could feel it for so strongly. And then just like crying about how did I cope with those energies, like just, and I'm like, oh, I just would eat crap food and just be okay with it, you know, because then I realized that was a coping mechanism to the way I felt about being. I was like, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so grateful to be out. But you know, like, yeah. So Leanne says, brings to mind that Chiron says the best question we can ask is, what do I need to know? Yeah, what do I need to know? What do you want me to do? How can I help? How can I serve? What does my tribe need? What is the next best aligned action that I can take right now? All those questions are questions I always ask when I'm stuck or needing to know, especially if I'm overwhelmed and I'm like, I've got a zillion things to do. I'm like, okay, what is the next most aligned action that I can take right now? And I just trust whatever that is, and I just do that. Yeah, I just do the next thing. I was bawling my eyes out on Friday. Yeah, I'd wondered if there was something going on collectively, energetically, planetary, I don't know. But yeah, Friday, sad day, and this morning it's just been, yeah, okay, a lot of us been bawling. So it's a lot, I had a feeling it was collective, because I was crying and not crying, you know, like, then I'm like, oh, am I carrying somebody? And then I was just like, oh, I'm like, what's going on in the world? I did feel it actually Friday night, Saturday morning, because I did say to Lucas Saturday morning, I'm like, I feel off. I'm like, I wonder what's going in the world out there, because we've got no reception. It's kind of cool. I'm like, I feel like this is outside of myself and bigger than me. So yeah. All right. For those of you who are still on the line, I know there was someone who asked earlier on if like you wanted me to speak about when the COVID stuff would be over. I'm wondering if that person is still live or not, if you can let me know. Yeah, and Amanda says, don't know why. Yeah, I feel like it was collective. Thanks for confirming that, guys. It wasn't just me, even though it was my own stuff in a way. So Jeanette says, I just pulled an angel card and got peace, the bottom of the deck, and the world card. My question was to Spirit. My question to Spirit was this, did we do this? Yeah. Yeah, of course we did. And that's the thing, I'm like, you know, we have that choice in the polarity or the duality. We have that choice to tune in and choose, are we going to be in one or the other, the black or the white? And am I going to, you know, like feel shit? Yeah, like feel shit in that, like when I go into town and I'm like, you know, I can get out so I can get out. But when I was in suburbia, it was just like, that's what I just was in. Maybe there was coping mechanisms, like I said, with the food and the crap food and stuff like that. But at the same time, I wasn't in fear about it. It wasn't like, oh my God, it's hurting me and it's going to fuck me up. And it wasn't that. It was just like, oh, just get me out. I'd like to hear you talk about it if you feel like it. I'm interested in when it will be over. Yeah, okay, awesome. How did we do? Yes, I love that piece. And that's the thing. It's like, what do we want to focus on? Where do we want to be? Seeing the whole picture or one side of the coin? Yeah. We have the freedom to liberate ourselves and other people. And within that comes all the success of the earth. Yeah, and abundance of the earth. Okay. So let me speak to that. So my notes are on my phone. Just wondering how I can get them out of my phone. I don't think that they'd be in there actually, because I've got my work phone, but I usually live stream on my work phone, but I didn't. I don't think that I put it in there. All right, so I'll just leave that. So from memory. So I shared this yesterday in my Trust Intuition group, right? So I don't know when it's going to be over. Okay, I don't. Now, what I'm about to say, I say with total openness. Just got distracted by a text message, sorry. And now I'm getting hot in the car because it's raining outside. All right. So what I'm about to say is purely from an intuitive, pondering, trying to figure out everything just like everybody else is, okay? What I'm about to say is also coming from what the star being channeled through me in January when I was in my float. Like I was literally in a float. If you guys know, in a float, you're like naked, in a float, water. And this being was so strong, like coming through and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, like this is too much. I have to get out. Like, do you really want me to get out and write this down? I'm like, God damn it. I'll like open the pod and like get my phone and dry my hands. And I'm like, man, dripping salt everywhere on my phone. Anyway, then I did that live stream later that day. So if you haven't watched the prediction live stream, I go into deep detail about it. But the reason that I'm bringing that up is because some of that information, the star being channeled through me, I didn't make sense. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, and I called it natural catastrophic disaster because I didn't want to, I'm like, who am I to like say world catastrophic event created by humans? Like I wasn't game enough to say that. So I called it natural catastrophic events. Anyway, that's just my doubt in myself, perhaps. Or I don't know what that is. Anyway, the point is that the past couple of days, I've been getting a bucket load of clarity about deciphering that message even more. And I've been asking, I'm like, can I just connect to that being, please? Can I please have more information? Like, what's going on here? And on Friday night, so the first message that I typed into my phone, it said in 2022, the world order will collapse, right? That was the first thing I wrote down on my phone from that channel thing. And then I was like, what do you mean? And it was like, you know, so, and then I didn't say catastrophic events. I'll screenshot it and I'll put it in my Reality Awareness support group so you can see the exact thing, right? And, the star, it said something like, so it will collapse through April, June, and August, right? And then in 2022 is when it will definitely collapse, because when the world order will collapse, because the natural the propaganda can't hold it down, can't hold the truth down anymore, right? And it said like, you know, like lapis lazuli, truths from, you know, like April, June and August, and then in 2022 the world order will collapse because propaganda can't hold down the truth anymore. Now, that didn't really make sense to me at the time, and then on Friday night I was like, oh, because in myself I'm like, everyone's saying August, September, like 6 months is going to go on for, right? And in myself I'm being like, yeah, and then what happens after 6 months? Like, what, it's going to go back to normal? I don't fucking think so. Like, you go and change the world like this and you expect to go back to normal? I'm like, people, like, start preparing yourself. Like, the world will never go back to normal. Like, I would be surprised if we ever go back to normal about how the world was, right? So Jeanette says, yes, I have 2022, the next stage. This was part 1, and then 2026 will be the final part. Oh, that's so interesting. Because like after 2000, you know, and again, what I'm saying now is purely my intuitive ponderings about, is this like trying to figure it out, okay? And on Friday night, I was like, my intuitive sense, and I don't want to say this because I don't fucking want it to be the truth, but what came through, like, and I'm like, nah, no, but then I'm like, but fuck, in August, is that when the mandatory vaccine comes in and we can't like walk into a supermarket unless we've had the vaccine? Is it that we can't fly on a plane until we've had the vaccine? And if we don't have the vaccine, then we won't have a barcode, or we won't have a friggin' wrist guard, or we won't have a microchip, and then we're going to be like outcasts, and then we're going to be like the witches. Is that what's going to happen? And I was like, nah. It's not what's going to happen. That's what's been going through my head, right? And please know I'm just saying this from a pondering, intuitive, trying to figure it out, but this all dropped in on Friday night. And that whole thing around, you know, the lapis lazuli truths will surface from April, June and August, which is now, right? Like the star being, when I asked the star being and they said April, May, that's now, right? And the biggest stuff is starting to like, ugh. And then when I look at those dates, like for me, it's almost like, you know, this lockdown is only beginning to prepare us for like proper full, I don't know if it's military and martial law, like whatever it is the full strict time that for 2 years will be like, I don't know. I don't even want to fucking think like this, right? And I know I'm swearing, but I'm like, nah. But at the same time, I'm like, it's not going to go back to normal. So what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's making me angry. It makes me angry. Right? Yep, I've had that come through about vaccine will come out with a chip in it and it will be mandatory. Yeah, and this is the thing, right? And I'm like, and I said in my blog this morning, I'm always 6 months ahead of people. And I'm not saying that in an egotistical way. And the example that I gave in my blog this morning was like when I was 18 and used to smoke cigarettes and stuff. And like I ended up quitting smoking because the doctor said I'd get cancer if I wouldn't. So I don't know, I listened back then because I wasn't awake yet. Well, I'm glad I did. Anyway, and so I stopped smoking. And then 6 months later, they brought out the laws in the like, you know, clubs and pubs and stuff where you weren't allowed to smoke inside anymore. And I was like, oh, sweet. Doesn't matter for me because I don't have to go outside and smoke now because I quit. 6 months. And all my entire life, I've always been 6 months ahead of people. And I'm like, so now I'm living off grid with no electricity, figuring out how to do this stuff, sharing out of a bucket. Am I 6 months ahead of people? Electricity is already being flicked off in certain places around the world. And I'm like, so what happens after August? Go back to normal? I don't fucking think so. In 2022, the world order will collapse because the propaganda can't hold down the truth anymore. That's what the star being said to me. So I personally feel that you need to prepare that this is going on for years, right? So all the info about the chip and the mandatory vaccines and all that sort of thing, I'm like, is that when they're going to hunker down and get really like, is that when it's going to be even like more like, that's when it's going to like, that's still now we've got a bit of freedom. We're like, yeah, whatever's. But then from August, my sense is like, And I'm like, I don't care. I will stay on this property for 2 years. I don't give a fuck. There's no fucking way putting a vaccine in. I will live off the land. Like, this is my heart and soul, guys. Like, come on. You want to what? Stop me going from the shops? Oh my God, whatever's. You think I'm going to be coerced? You think I'm going to be bribed to getting a fucking vaccine and a microchip? You think it's, you know, I'm going to be upset about not traveling the world for 2 years when I can live off the land because you're doing this stuff? I'm like, no. I'm just creating my own little bubble out here, making me create a whole new reality and a whole new world for people to come and join. Is that what you're doing? Oh, how interesting. Because there's so many people who won't fucking do it. Just saying, but I have been getting fucking angry about it. And I know I'm swearing, but seriously, guys, like, this is the reality that I've been, like, just going, nah. Yeah, so Amanda says that's when they will really clamp down, I feel. It's getting worse before it gets better. Yeah, and that's the thing where, you know, people are like, when's this going to end? And they keep saying August, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like it to me. It feels like that's when the freedom that we're feeling now on lockdown is going to end. Yeah? So it's kind of interesting. Let me check these comments, sorry. Boji Stone, October 24th, yes. Nowhere will never go back to normal, yes. I think Karen has talked of 10 years of turbulence. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Kind of feeling that in such a big way. I meant the world changed, not COVID. World changed? Okay. Time to do another global meditation so the mandatory vaccine doesn't happen. Okay, so yeah, and just on this, right, and this is something I said to Lucas the other day, and I haven't actually shared this bit, and I've been meaning to, but I only dropped in the other day. So you know when, like, I'm like, what are they doing behind the scenes? Because you know when, like, the Amazon fires and everything, and I'm like, guys, stop focusing on it. I'm like, remember when we're so focused on stuff on social media and all the shit's in our face? Remember there's something else going on behind the scenes. And that really got reminded to me the other day when I was, like, crying, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm like, what are they doing behind the scenes? Like, and there's so many things they could be doing behind the scenes, like setting up all these beds and hospitals, fucking warehouses of hospitals. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, Anyway, the point, guys, I want you to tune in, right? What are they doing behind the scenes? They're making us focus on the vaccines. They're making us focus on the military law. They're making us focus on all this stuff. What are they doing behind the scenes? Because remember, when they're making us focus on stuff through social media, through media, through I don't care if it's truth or not truth, what are they doing behind the scenes? That's what I'd like to know. And that's what I'm reminding you guys, yeah? So Josephine, when you said time to do another global meditation, so the mandatory vaccine, so another point of that, like I said, there's always an exemption. There's always a way around it. There's always a legal way out. There is. Why? Because this system that is built on is like the government is a corporation. It's a business. It's a fucking business, right? I've been learning so much from Lucas, but I'm like, it makes total sense to me, right? Even the banking system, it's a system that we've been brought up in that people don't realize that there's a system outside of the system. It's a bit like schooling and going to school and sending your kids to school when actually you've got a choice to homeschool and actually not even school. But people don't realize there's other systems outside the system. So please remember, with all the microchipping, with all the vaccine, with all the fucking shit, it's a system, but there's always a system outside of the system. You just have to find it, just like homeschooling. Please remember this, okay? Whatever they say is mandatory, I'm like, nah, there's always a way. Like even my mentor's finding out a way to fly without vaccine now, as we speak. Why? And, you know, when she told me that, I'm like, oh, of course you are. This is fucking brilliant. Why? Because there are so many people on the planet that don't do this shit. And there's always a system outside of the system. You must stay in this whole awareness of the polarity, not the duality and only one side. Yeah, that's what they're making us focus on right now. But we remember that there's a whole spectrum and a whole picture here, not just the dark side or the light side, whatever you want to call it. Whatever bit it is on the section, right? There's the whole picture. Yeah? All right. Hey, guys. From Uruguay. Is that how you pronounce it? My spelling. My pronunciation is not good. From Budapest. So beautiful to have you here. Amanda. Yep, that's when they really clamp down. Oh, yeah. See, I feel like that's when it's going to get... I don't want to think that. Because I'm like, cool, I can travel again. I can go road tripping and go around Australia like I wanted to. But I don't, I'm like the underlying feeling is like, I actually think it's going to get worse. Like, I actually think it's going to be more stricter. And, you know, is that the witch hunt stuff? Like, you know, how we said, like, you know, like I said, like, if you don't have a microchip barcode or fucking wristband, well, I'm sure it'll be like a microchip or barcode. If you don't have that, you're an outcast. But there'll be so many of us, and we'll be all living off the land, living the dream life we've always wanted to live back in, that where we all contribute. We've always fucking dreamed of that. They're just forcing us to do it. It's kind of interesting. Deborah says, I learned a lot to live in the city in a very small spend and low cost of electricity and water. Oh, I love that. From a year, very tight and lots of learning. I love that. Thank you for sharing. That's the thing, isn't it? It's always the way. It's been bringing up a lot of anger for me too. Yeah, definitely me too. So Amanda says, we all need to rise up and protest. Yeah, we do. We need to take a stand. We need to take a stand before it gets that. And this is where I feel like we still have an opportunity to change it. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many of us on the planet who are awake now. There's too many of us that won't fucking take the fucking vaccine, for fuck's sake. You're not going to let me go to the shop? Oh, what a shame. Let me go and eat organic off of my garden, for fuck's sake. What a shame. I can't have your chemical-laden food. Oh, my God. Are you serious? I don't care. Spray my air because I can transform it anyway. Just saying. So I'm going a bit crazy because it fucking makes me so angry. I'm like, are they serious? Try. Just try. I keep saying. Fucking come and kill me. I don't care. I'll come back again. Or I'll work from the other side. Anyway. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. All right, Deborah says, by the way, I sense I will be well adapted. Yes, I feel like it's the time I've been waiting. Yes, exactly. I'm with, yes, at peace. I know that's the thing. I'm like, oh, I'm excited because we get to do what they're forcing us to do what we've always wanted to in a way. All right. So Rachel said, yes, another spiritual teacher told us about that back in 2009, about the distractions. And they used to do it for centuries. See, that's the thing. I'm like, there's something about this, that thing. But something going on behind the scenes because they're making us focus on all this. I'm like, yeah, there's something else going on, guys. Let's just step outside of that for a minute and tune in. So Leanne says, noticed an increase of memes lately. They actually have a brief given, which are basically orders to create huge amounts of memes and misinformation. It all, yeah, it's a thing, isn't it? It's all programming. Yeah, that's why taking a break. It's why filtering your Facebook feed. So many people said to me, how do you filter your Facebook feed? So you can, whatever, like, so, like I shared yesterday, like the yacht harbor, the Dragon yacht. I didn't even know. I was like, shared it. And then I'm like, it's called Dragon. Oh my God. 417. So Dragon 417. Oh, my book's up the front there. Yeah. And so, like, so whatever page, so say for example, you go to reality awareness and on the, like, you know, the header section, and it's like, you know, you can follow or unfollow or like or unlike or whatever. And on the little drop down box, like there's 3 little dots or something, and there's like options. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but there's little options, and you can like see posts first or choose to see them first and stuff in your feed. Like, so you just go to whatever page. So if we just have a look here, I don't know if I can do it from mine. Just have a quick look. All right, I can't really do it. But, you know, if you go to somebody's page and it'll be like the 3 little dots at the top. Oh, yeah, it's somewhere there. I can't do it on my own page. Let's have a look here. But there is an option to do it, right? And you just say see post first. Oh, I can't do it. The 3 little dots, the drop down, and there's something there, yeah. You notice the dragon yacht, yeah, how amazing, right? It's like, oh, my dragon's everywhere at the moment. Even on my yacht. I love Lionheart Super Yacht, even though a lot of people hate the person who owns it, but I don't care, but I just like the yacht. Maybe because it's called Lionheart, but then I saw Dragon as well. I'm like, oh, I just said both, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, they've done it for centuries, exactly. We'll all move to where you and Locust are. Yeah, exactly. That's what he's been building it for. So Rachel said, I noticed it. Yeah, saw that. Yeah. So guys, so prepare, right? Prepare for not the next 6 months, not for, you know, the next 2 years. Like, let's look at it as though a 10-year transition. If we really think about timelines, it's so interesting. I was talking to Lucas about timelines this morning. When we look at how many eons of centuries has our current humanity been in slavery, in all this shit, darkness, it's been like centuries upon centuries upon centuries. 6 months, a year, 2 years is not really going to counter this much stuff, is it? Like when we look at that, yeah? So we've got all these centuries of humanity going through so much shit, and we look at 6 months in time scale, this big chunk to this 6 months, it's not going to do shit, right? It's just going to start creating a lot of turmoil and wow, it's going on here. Shock. Right? We look at 2 years, look at 10 years, maybe it might balance out. I don't know. Going through a huge transition. It's going to take time. So mentally prepare yourself for Earth to never go back the way it was. Yes, we can focus on it becoming better and more successful in our own reality, right? And the more we focus on that in our own reality and liberate ourselves and our independence and our freedom and stand up and have a voice where we liberate others, and then we can all live this successful life by remembering the whole picture of polarity rather than the single side of duality. Yeah, that is our strong message for our mass meditation, for our global energy update. Yeah. Okay, so Leanne says they also have lots of bots commenting on posts on Facebook trying to discount those giving out factual information. Yes, I encountered them recently. It was interesting to notice the energy behind them. Yeah, it's so interesting, right? I could sense what they were doing and the lack of emotion behind their objections. So fucking interesting. 20 to 25 period of a new era. Yeah, so prepare yourself, guys. And it's a bit of a shock, and we go through grief that life will never be the same. That we're going to be, you know, standing up for our rights. It's time to, in a way, implement all the things that we've been saying, that we can, you know, have freedom of choice and stand up and believe what we say and have a courage to use our voice and all that. It's kind of time to implement it now. It's kind of interesting, right? So, yeah. So go through the grief about life never going back the same and living in a whole pile of uncertainty for a big chunk of time, because that is the reality. Unfortunately, and it's important to be surrounded by those people who get it. So whether that's in my free reality awareness support group on Facebook, you can just type in the Facebook search bar, reality awareness support group. It's a free Facebook group. It's a private group where only us in there can see what's posted. If you're upset or you've got feelings or you're not sure what's going on in the world and you need support, you can post in that group. And there's such a beautiful tribe in there. I get in there and everyone's supported everyone before I get there. I'm like, oh, I love you guys so much. So that is what it is for, because you're not crazy, you're highly intuitive, you're deeply sensitive, and we all get it in there. Okay, so send me a message if you'd like to be added to that group. I'm here to support you guys, and I shall get that recording out to you guys over the next couple of days, and have that MP3 that you can listen to what we did today on our global mass meditation today. You can have that on repeat if you need to continue to stay in that heart frequency and expand your heart energy. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching. Please share if you think this can help somebody, or tag their name in the comments, or share it in a private message with them. You can also like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, or like my Reality Awareness page on Facebook if you want to be notified, or have my post come up in the top of your feed to stay deeply in alignment of your heart and super aware in your consciousness, so that we can change the world together through our conscious awareness of choice. I love you guys heaps. See you soon.